Welcome to the We've Seen Enough podcast, where we look at the world through the prism of sports. Enjoy the eclectic mix of our personalities as we discuss, debate, and occasionally fight over issues large and small. So as we head to our respective corners, I'm Jim Boyle.
And I'm Tom Trevisani. Let's get it on, Jimbo.
Welcome to We've Seen Enough, Season 1, Episode 13. I'm your host, Jim Boyle, and I do have my co-host, Tommy Trevisani, back with me after about a 7-month absence, Tommy. I mean, it's just amazing that it's been that long for us in absence. And you know what's funny about this is now we're on TV as well. So we get to see Tom. Now, actually, I'm going to introduce you. We're going to get to see Tommy Trevisani for the first time live here on WCTV's We've Seen Enough podcast. Tommy, how you been?
Good. How about yourself, Jim?
I've been good. So what happened? We moved to Maine. What happened?
Yeah, a lot in the last 6-7 months. You know, I know they were fixing the studio, and I ended up buying a place up in Maine, and we closed around the beginning of May, and we just officially moved in actually on Sunday, a week ago Sunday. I'm sorry, like for good.
So you moved a week ago Sunday in Maine. I think you can take Tommy out of Everett, but you can't take Everett out of Tommy, right?
You can say that, but I mean, everyone's been saying, but I'll tell you, I think I'm going to be able to adjust. It is like being in the witness protection program, but I'm not complaining.
Are you telling me you have experience with the witness protection program?
Nah, I was just saying that. It kind of sounded funny, I thought.
Oh, come on, it sounded great. I love when you sound funny, Tom. But again, it's great for us to be back. I said, Jack was on last week as we did our first dry run through with We've Seen Enough.
Yep.
And we did a lot of chat and just stuff that we kitchen table talk, and which you and I would do. How we fight or have fun or do whatever we want to do. So let's get caught up. It's been 7 months. I mean, we talked before I think the last episode was before the Super Bowl. So let's go back. Let's look at each individual sport and see where we are. We'll start because it was before the Super Bowl. NFL. Anything surprising to you about Kansas City and the Eagles?
No, like you said, it could have went either way. I thought. I actually thought, Philly actually played better. I thought Philly had them, but they had that turnover there at the beginning of the first half. I thought that helped Kansas City a lot, but I thought that could have went either way. I thought the kid for Philly the quarterback actually played better if you really look. But Mahomes made the plays in the second half, and Kansas City kind of pulled away there at the end, but it could have went either way.
Is it time to say dynasty with Kansas City?
It looks like it. I don't, Jim. They seem to get rid of just what they do over there. They seem to, they seem to be paying the right people, but they're going to have to start paying some people. So we might have to. If they win it this year, we might have to start saying dynasty, yes.
Because, I asked that question because over the last 20 years, the Patriots with 6 Super Bowl wins.
Right.
And the one thing constant between the 6 Super Bowl wins are the 2 Bs, Belichick and Brady.
Absolutely.
And the constant right now in Kansas City is Mahomes
and Andy
Reid,
Reid, yeah.
right?
Yep.
So again, it was a good ending of the season. Thoughts on the Patriots off season where we are now? What does it look like for you?
Yeah, well, I was just listening coming on the way in, but it just seems like, I don't know, it seems like he's kind of lost a little control down there. I'm just, it's not like it was before. They're not winning, and he just seems like he wants to do like things he's been doing for the last 20, 25 years, but he doesn't have Brady, and I think there's some cause for concern down there. I think there is. It's just the players they have. This Jack Jones, would he even be on the team right now? Think about this 10, 15 years ago. Let's talk, because you know why? He doesn't cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, look, what's going on here? It's just because I think they have, the kid has talent, and I just think Belichick needs him, sick as it sounds.
And again, Tommy, the world's changed. I mean, back 20 years ago, 23 years ago, you had a different mindset and a coach whose idea was perfect in reality. Belichick came in. He could have put any quarterback in those first 3 years and won with him because he had his philosophy set up, and he was always never going to get beat if a guy got hurt.
Right.
So now he's struggling with his. I don't know if he was always the greatest evaluator of talent, but he did pick out Tom Brady, 199. So it's hard. So it's different. The world is different. Just like when we get to the Red Sox, it's like Alex Cora, and it's those sort of things. So just a final thing. Who do you think is going to be the next starting quarterback for the Patriots? Is it going to be Zappi, or are they going to stick with Jones?
What they say, what's going down there, I think you're going to have to, it's going to start the season with Mac Jones, but don't be surprised if they start off a little shaky and he's turning the ball over that he doesn't go to Zappi. That would not surprise me. But I think it's going to start with Mac Jones. It looks like, he's the first-round pick, Jim, and all that, but Belichick, he's going to play the better quarterback. But it looks like, to me, from what's going on down there, but The offensive line has issues. There's a lot of issues down there. And it looks like they're going to start off with Jones. They have a really tough schedule, too. They open up against Philly. I don't think they're going to beat them.
Well, they have not only have a tough schedule, they're probably the weakest team in the AFC East, and that hasn't happened in 25 years.
Not only that, and don't forget with the Jets. I mean, that Jets on offense and defense, they have a nice team. It just, if Aaron Rodgers just takes the checkdowns, they don't turn the ball over, they're going to be a tough team. They got some nice players on both sides of the ball.
And the two other teams, the Bills and the Dolphins, have great offensive skill sets.
Which we know when the Patriots haven't beat them in the last 3 years. They can't beat either one of those teams. Exactly.
So enough of the Patriots because it's not football season yet. And we did have the two winter sports teams, which were really pretty good. The Bruins, which were not, again, Jack was on here the other day, and we did say,
Yeah, I actually seen him, too. He came running right in the house. Don't worry. On Tuesday night.
We have no idea about hockey sometimes. But with hockey, they had the best record in the league, and they fell flat. Which is just happening, and this is hockey to me. You get a hot goaltender, you get a few breaks. I think like Miami, Florida, not Miami. They're from Miami, but I think Florida just really had. They won a lot of overtime games. A couple bounces went their way, and the Bruins got knocked out. But we'll skip the Bruins. Someday we'll bring a hockey nut in here if we can find one. And what about the Celtics? The Celtics had a pretty good year. They had the home court advantage once Milwaukee got beat. And they struggled early with almost all postseason. What just overall impressions on asking a couple questions?
Wow, Jim, like they started off that second series, and I forget what I even thought Atlanta even won 2 games, if I recall.
Philly was second.
Then that was what they should. If you really know, they shouldn't even have won the Philly series. If you kind of remember, they were up 3-2 Philly. Philly had them in Game 6. There was that ugly game. If Harden made another shot there, they probably don't even win that game. They came back Game 7. Tatum showed up. Let's give him his due. He had a great game. But I just don't know with this team. Then they come into Miami, and how it even started for them to come back. And then what they did in that Game 7, that was a disgrace.
So
I'm just thinking it's coaching. I don't understand these guys. Then I don't want to get into Brown. That's another story. And then they ended up paying him. We'll get into that a little bit later. It's just, I don't know here what's going on. I can't believe they really paid him. I thought maybe he should have play out this last year. Maybe gave it another year, see what they're going to do. But I see the same of a lot next year, Jim. I see them maybe going to the Eastern Conference Finals again next year. And I don't see them going to the championship again. I just don't like the makeup of their team. And everyone's going crazy about this Porzingis deal. I'm not a big fan, Jim. To me, you got to play. You got to play 75, 80 games a year, and he's not that type of player.
So that's why you dislike Jaylen Brown, because he plays 75, 80 games a year, or is this another reason because he can't go to his left?
Well,
I
have a better left hand than him.
Let's go down. That's what
you can ask. You can ask a lot of people.
So the question is then for you.
Yep.
Okay. Give me the top 3 reasons why they did not make the finals. 3. Number 1.
Okay. They couldn't finish games.
Okay, that's 1. They couldn't finish games.
They couldn't finish games.
2.
Obviously the head coach, the coaching.
3.
And 3, bench scoring.
Okay, so did the impact of the 6th man of the year getting hurt and not being able to contribute offensively hurt them down the stretch? Did the fact that the coach was sort of in over his head and didn't have enough help hurt them down the stretch? Or did the fact that they just decided they were going to be a 3-point shooting team, which was the philosophy of the coach, and eventually that ended up killing them down the stretch? Which do you think, in reality, which is really the key? You can sit here and bitch about Jaylen Brown all you want. I'm going to let you do that. But you know what? If Jaylen Brown's not on the team, they don't get to where they get, right? So and even Marcus Smart, if he's not on the team, they get to where they get. But again, what really? You're the basketball guy. You've played. You're a shooter. You don't know how to play defense, but other than that, so where do you see really what needs to improve? What can they do? What would you do if you were Stevens?
Well, they had to get rid of Marcus Smart. I just think he's been there 8 or 9 years, and it was time for him to go. So I think that was the good move. But in regards to Porzingis, I think what hurt them last year too is we got to forget the Italian kid was hurt the whole year.
Correct.
I think that might have hurt. They need someone to come off the bench to play like 15 or 20 minutes to score. And again, they don't have a finisher. That's why I don't want to get into the Damian Lillard stuff. You need a guy. What always happens to them in the fourth quarter, the last 6 minutes, they just go missing. I mean, we can go back and forth, Jim, about bench scoring this. The NBA, you just turn the game on in the last 6 minutes. My father taught me this 40 years ago. If it really is so true. You got all these great athletes, but who are the finishers? And the game is usually won, right? No, and actually the last 3 to 4 minutes, if you agree with that.
So my chance to pick on Damian Lillard. He's finished a lot of Western Conference Finals and Finals games, hasn't he?
Here we go. Listen.
Here we
Jim.
go. Here we go. Here we go.
I know, but what is?
Here we go, me. And you bring up Damian Lillard.
But
and
I'm
he
just
has-
saying for a finisher.
Oh yeah. So you have a finisher. You bring Damian Lillard in. What are you going? What's that do for me?
Well, it does a lot because you figure with Tatum, if they could, even if I'm not saying they would probably have to get rid of Brown, but what if you have him? Then you have Tatum, and then you have another scorer down the stretch. That's all I'm saying. Because it doesn't seem like, Tatum comes and goes. Like he has these great games, but then he disappears.
Well, I don't disagree.
All
with you
right,
on
so
that.
that's my point. Like,
But my question is, why Lillard?
I
and
just
why
because I
not-
like
why
him, I
not-
just
why-
threw him
I know,
out there.
I'm just busting your chops.
I know
and
you are.
that,
That's
but-
as good. I don't even.
But why not a true point guard? Why not someone who can come in here and distribute the basketball, get the guys the ball in the right spots?
Doesn't
Because
even
I
have-
think that's what I personally think.
I
that's
agree.
what
You're
they're missing.
meaning like on who you get at, like a Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Because he can play 25, 30 minutes and just. I agree, but I don't. That would make sense. Yeah, just a distributor. I agree. But like when I just think of him as a scorer, he just kind of came back this year. I know he averaged 32 points a game, but they just need another finisher. But something like that could work too. I agree, but I just never could see Chris Paul come in here.
No, I don't think Chris Paul was going to come here. I agree with you on that.
I'm
But
just
I'm
throwing
saying,
out a name,
look,
right?
look at a guy like Brunson, like another guy.
like-
He'd get the ball in the
well-
paint, and I know his dad
You
played
are your
for
father's
me.
but his, I told you the story about him.
Yeah,
and
but his,
I don't know
his-
if you know, I played against him in
yeah,
high school.
yeah,
the father.
Yeah, and he kicked your butt, right? He took you
Well,
to
he was
task.
2 years. He's originally a New York guy.
He's from Syracuse. His
From
mom's
correct, but
Syracuse.
he
but-
actually played for Salem High. Yeah.
Right, Jalen Brunson, though, that type of player. I don't know. Even you would give. They do like Peyton Pritchard. So maybe Peyton Pritchard, he could give them a little. He can't play defense, but maybe he's a guy who can set things up.
Yeah, Jim. I mean, but again, if he plays 30, 35 minutes, he'll be exposed. But he's a perfect third guy. But I'm not saying he could be the answer. He's good for 15 to 20 minutes a night. I love Peyton Pritchard.
Correct.
I do,
Get-
but
get
is he
that.
like the real? But then, like you said, he kind of can't defend in the fourth quarter. He becomes a liability. But who does defend anymore?
Well,
They all just jack up threes.
That's that. I think,
you say?
to be honest with you, that was where the coach, I think, lost
Yes.
control. That if you're going to live, you're going to live and die with the three. But that's why bringing in Porzingis and gives them a little bit of a different look, little pick and roll, high pick and roll with him and Tatum and with him and Brown. Now I agree, Brown played crappy in the last couple games of that series against Miami. Brown had played really well all year long.
He did.
And this is the way the NBA is. They forget the money. Forget the money. If the money means, like, this is the thing I have with baseball is, Chris Sale got $32 million, hasn't pitched, but he forget the money. Would you take him on your team?
At the time, it's not his fault.
well,
The
like,
market's
so
what it is,
with
right?
Jalen Brown, what would you do? I mean, okay, he should only got. I think he's only worth $25 million.
But right.
but that's the way the market is for him,
Yeah,
right?
You're right. You're right. I know. It's just crazy what the amount of money these guys are making. Like he's
Forget
right
the
now
money.
the highest. I know. I'm just not. But like, you
Second
just look
highest
at it.
now.
It just makes me. It's mind-boggling to me.
No, and I agree with you. And again, we're old school guys, so you got to forget the money. I
Right.
mean, back in 1970, when Yaz signed a 3-year, $300,000 contract, people, oh my God, he's making $100,000 a year. Back in
that time,
1970,
that was a
so
lot of
people
money,
all
right.
freaked out.
Right,
It's,
right. It's all
somebody,
relative, yeah.
somebody's going to make the money. The owners make the money, right?
Right.
So that's the Celtics. We talk about them. I think that I think with the coach getting a little more people on the bench to help them out.
Yep.
I think that Stevens has made some really good moves. The White move was phenomenal. That kid's a great player for him. Derek White's a really
Yep.
nice player for him. And he's done a good job picking and choosing. And again, people are counting him in and going. And it's hard to win in the NBA.
It is, but the move you were kind of getting back to in the kid they got from Milwaukee. But again, see, he always gets hurt.
Right.
And again, this is why I'm a little. You know me. I love Porzingis. He's big. He can shoot. But again, can he just stay healthy? That's a big if.
True.
And
that's
the
anybody.
bottom line is you got to play. I mean, I know it is anybody, but this kid's always hurt. He's never played more than 65 games. I'm just stating the facts.
Well, it's better than playing 45 games, isn't it? If we get lucky, we get it for 60.
I know, but you know how like you say now, the NBA now, it's just basically they play for the playoffs now anyway. So it's really like
Correct.
maybe
And again,
like-
if the
right.
Celtics, again, just you got to stay healthy. The Gallinari was out for the whole year.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So
they
what
lost,
the good?
yeah.
What good was he? And Bogdan was out for the last 6-7 games.
Yeah.
And I think it hamstrung him offensively.
No,
and
it absolutely
and
did.
I think he played with that injury as well.
Yep.
Other things that have happened, we have a new national champion of college basketball, local.
Yeah.
Again,
You know what's funny, speaker? I know that UConn team, and it's been amazing. If you want to hear a funny story, Jim, a year before, people don't know this, they lost in the first round to New Mexico State. Hear me out. You saw what happened in New Mexico State. You see what happened. They did away with the program this year. You know that.
well, it's because they were bad.
Not only bad, but they beat UConn last year in the first round. People don't even know that. And look at that turnaround. That guy is a great coach. He can coach. He can recruit too. But he's getting a lot of these kids from too. He comes into the NEPSAC League. He recruits a lot of these kids. And I'm not saying he gets the McDonald's kids, but he can coach like the father. I think they're all Hurley, the two boys, and I love the father. You know, about him in Jersey. I always follow him, and they know basketball. This kid, I think that guy can coach.
But again, football rules the roost, and now the Pac-10 is no longer. Pac-12 is gone.
Well, with all that, I know my
and
son was telling me.
Hurley signs this $3 billion contract and nothing to NIL. So again, how do you maintain if there's not a lot of money out there? Again, he did a great job coaching. They got on a great run at the end.
They did.
Teams that could have beat them lost early, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But again, what happens to Connecticut? What happens to Temple?
But you
I
got to
mean, what
beat the
happens to
teams
Big
that
East?
you play, though. It is
You
what
know,
it is.
Now that football is ruling the roost, what are we going to do? What do you think
Yep.
about that? What do you think about Pac-10, which is one of the greatest conferences of
Yeah,
sports-wise?
I
Now
mean,
it's gone.
Justin was because I can't even keep up. He was just telling me it's all craziness. It's just
It's
with
now
these
the Pac-4.
No, it's because it's insane.
Okay, trivia question: who are the last four left? Do you know?
See, I haven't even been paying attention. I'm going to say is USC and UCLA too?
USC and UCLA went to Big Ten.
Well, they did. So I don't know. So who
Arizona State.
I don't even
Utah and Colorado went to the Big 12.
know. Okay.
Oregon and Washington just went to the Big 10. So now you have California,
Who's
Stanford,
left? Stanford,
Washington State,
State.
and Oregon State are the only four left.
Are you kidding me? Those are the only four.
That's it. So I just
thank
the
you.
reaction. That's what happens. You know, things get kind of crazy and change on us. And a lot
Oh.
of fun stuff. So, but that's the NCAA. We don't talk Kentucky Derby and all that fun stuff. We talked about everything but the Sox. That's real quick. Jack and I spent a good half hour talking about the Sox and where they are. Again, from a non-baseball perspective, which you're a basketball guy and a college guy. Give me your elevator pitch on the Red Sox. What do you think?
Well, you know, just up to about a week, to start, first of all, their defense, you know, I'm a big Cora guy, and, you know, this thing with Heim Bloom, he's trying to run it like it's the Tampa Bay Devils. I know we can sit here and we can go over this all night, but the bottom line is, just doesn't seem like he's, you know, then this thing that happened with Verdugo, I don't know the whole story. He benched him or whatever, and then Verdugo's going, you got to hear him, he's like, we only got 7 weeks left. First of all, I think that kid's not even that good. He's only got like 7 home runs. I think Cora's probably lost the team, but I like Cora. I'm a Cora guy. I just don't think Cora fits this team right now. You got to put him in, like he's in a big market. Send him to another big market where he can coach, you know, guys that make, because it just seems like, I don't know what's going on here, but there's a lot going on. You know, they're pitching. You know, they haven't had the start in pitching, too. For them to even be 3 games over 500, it kind of amazes me, to be honest with you.
And I think that's, as a
Feel
Red Sox, that's really Alex. I think Cora's done a great job, masterful job at managing this team through. I don't think he's lost the team. I think that Verdugo's had some issues, I think, during the year. He's late, he bitches. He wanted to be on the All-Star team. He's, you know, I think the thing that we get from the Bluminati, we'll call him, because that's what Jack and I call him, is they sell us on how great Verdugo and Connor Wong are because they are the ones who they brought in for Mookie Betts, who now is like the top 3 player in the National League, top
Right.
5 player in the whole baseball. So they're selling us on that. I think that is an important issue here. And you're right, Cora's he can only play with the hand he's dealt, right? And I think he's using openers 2 times a game. So whose fault is it, and where do you lay the blame?
Well, you know, like you said, things start at the top. You got to look at Bloom a little bit, and I just think Cora's been. Yeah, I think he's been strapped, and I'm not saying he's not. I think he's doing a really good job. I'm a big Cora guy, but it just seems like you can tell by the things he's saying in the press. I just think he's had it here. I think it's time for a change, and I don't mean that. I think like it would be better for him to go to another team and manage like a better team, because if they want to do this mid-market stuff, you know, they want to bring up these guys, they don't want to pay anyone. I don't think this is the type of team for Cora. I think, like, you know.
I totally agree with you on that. I think the other issue to me is mid-market, don't want to pay the big money. There's no identity to the team. In reality, the identity to me is Alex Cora. He's your only identity to the team. And then like, I look back, and like I said this to Jack once, I said, I like Turner, Justin Turner. I like him. He's a great player. But do you know the audacity to put number 2 on him? How much you don't understand your fan base to give number 2 out right after you're the probably one of the top 3 shortstop in the franchise's history leaves because you couldn't pay him the money when you were supposed to. I think that John Henry deserves a lot of the blame. I think if this is what they want to do, eventually they'll lose the market. But they're running into the fact now the Patriots are starting to see a downturn. So they play their cards right. They'll still have the fandom that they have. But I agree with you on that. I think that core. I don't want to see him go because I think in 2021 when they made their run, it was all because of him. And I think up until like 2 weeks ago, I thought they had a shot. You know, I don't know what you thought, but I thought there was a shot. All of a sudden, boop, they're downhill.
Yeah, I just kind of been in that move. Those 2 games in San Francisco were tough ones. That Saturday and Sunday game, they could have won those both. And then now you just see, and then I don't know what happened this weekend against Toronto. That was just a total debacle. Total debacle.
Oh, yeah, you have fielding mistakes, you have running
26
mistakes.
26-8, they
Stupid.
were outscored, you know.
And
Toronto's another team. They can hit. And they were even missing, what's his name? I didn't even think Bichette was playing either.
No, Bichette's been out.
He's been out, right.
And they just they're not bad. I think that Toronto team's a little bit.
Maybe another pitcher.
They could be
might
streaking
be tough. Yeah,
because they're okay. I mean, it's just they're. But I looked at their lineup. I looked at their lineup when Vladdy Guerrero sat.
Yeah.
You know, I looked at the lineup. Some there are holes in some of the lineups. Just like the Yankees suck even worse than the Red Sox.
Exactly.
We could be Yankee fans.
Imagine, I know.
You know.
Look at. I know. How's that kid even doing this year? Hit the 70 home runs last year.
Well, he got hurt. He broke his toe.
So, yeah.
You know, I can't.
But I wouldn't have paid him there either. I mean, he had that great year. Don't get me wrong, but he's a little more on the older side, and they gave him that contract. You know, they're going to end up eating a lot of that contract.
Well, everyone eats. San Diego's going to be eating a ton of contracts too.
Well,
so,
what about that with both?
But do they care though? Does the owner care? Here you got owners with unlimited funds. The guy in New York, Cohen, unlimited money. He sees the team's not going to work, right? Sells them off. I'll start over.
Yep.
So that's what a fan would want. Whereas here we're like, let's see if we can scrape the barrel. Oh, let's bring in this guy. Oh, we made a great trade. We traded Vasquez, and we got this dude. And look at he's going to be the next Juan Soto Jr. You know, stuff like that. He's done a good job in building the base, building a little bit of a core. But now that core that is in the minor leagues has to move into the major leagues. Wow. And if they don't, you know, where are we? Then where are we? We're Baltimore again.
Yeah, well, look at Baltimore. Speaking of,
well, they're
27 games over 500. I can't believe it.
They've sucked for like 8 years.
I know, but then finally, those draft picks, they're all coming to fruition. Guys are.
Yeah,
guys are starting to pay off.
If you ask me, do I want to suck for 8 years? I say no, but I'll be dead maybe in 8 years though.
Well,
I
don't
never know.
We might be, but we can go down there for a whole weekend series, and it's cheaper to drive down there and stay in a hotel. Then we'll come here and go to a game. I'll get the free tickets from you. No,
I ain't giving you no more free. You're done with the freebies. Freebies are done with the Trevisani clan. But that's good. So one of the things, Tommy, I'm thinking about doing is we'll bring the boys in. We're going to do it as we get ready to transition. We're going to do a all-time NBA draft where we each get to pick 5 players, then the 6th man or whatever. But you have to really try to fill your team with what you think would win. And if we pick Bill Russell, it's Bill Russell as he was in the 60s, not Bill Russell as he would be today.
Right.
Who's a good example of that? Bob Cousy. He was playing against plumbers as, what's his name, the freaking freak show there from Duke. He spews his mouth off. But he would play it like that. I think that's the key, is to make sure that everyone understands. So Jack, Justin, myself, you, maybe Greco. We'll do a little draft. We'll bring everybody in. I'll try to figure out how to get the TVs working and all that. But that's something we got down in the future. And then we got a couple more guests. You had some guests. We had guests lined up. We promise you guys we'll bring some other guests and get some other opinions. But as before we go to our comparison piece of the pie, anything else that over the last 7 months that's gotten into your crawl or anything?
Well, what else? No, not really. It's just. I don't know, just sports in general. I think this thing with the money is it's just so out of control right now with every sport. It's just this thing what happened with Brown, and I don't know, it's just crazy money, Jim. It's like all this money's guaranteed. I mean, these guys haven't proven anything. They've never won anything, and they're just getting all this outrageous money. I just think they're going to end up settling, and it's so out of control. They're saying in 3-4 years the money's even going to get even worse and worse and worse with these TV deals. And you know me, I'm a big basketball guy, and I can't even. It's hard for me to even watch an NBA game now.
Oh, well, we're gonna let you draft the NBA, see who you draft, and compare. Because I don't know if we did this in school with one of my classes in school. We had a little NBA draft with about 8 kids, and it's so funny how the kids today they know the game, not through watching it, but they know the old timers through the NBA 2K stuff on how they play the video games. So I did want to look at real quick as we get ready. We're now in the final stages, really midway through, almost final stages of the NFL training camp. And I remember as a youngster, my father down in Reading, Pennsylvania, took me to Albright College, and we would go see the Eagles in training. I'm probably 10 years old, and you'd go down to Albright College, and there'd be just a bunch of scruffy things running around, nothing promoted, nothing. And now it's like a multi-million-dollar business, preseason camp. So did you have any experiences growing up where you got to go to camp, see anybody play?
Yeah, well, I did, because, the Patriots used to practice at Bryan College. Back then when I was going down, like, I would probably start going, like, in the late 80s, early 90s, but that's when they were horrible. But the point is like, at least, like, they were practicing, they were doing two-a-days, they were in pads. Probably I'm going to get it. Now it's just like, I don't know, they don't even wear pads. With this collective bargaining agreement, they never, they took one of the exhibition games away, which I agree with. But I just feel like this is why a lot of these guys are getting hurt, is not having a lot of physical contact. And it seems like when the season comes, that's why I think a lot of these guys are getting hurt. I don't think they're doing enough hitting anymore, and I just think it's changed, and I don't think it's changed for the better. But that's what it is now.
And again, you go back to the money, because the money. You can't get a guy. You don't want your guy getting hurt in a preseason practice. And I think now they're it's just different. I mean,
it is.
I think that even from the time my kids went with Kelly and her mom took the kids down to Foxborough back when Jack was probably about 4 or 5 years old, and even from then to now. I mean, it's like it's a major production. Which I don't mind. I mean, talk about money. That's a good way to make money. It's another source of revenue for the Patriots or whoever it is. But like I said, I go back to Albright College, and it's just so funny. I just remember you'd walk right on, you'd stand on the sidelines, you watch these guys beat the crap out of each other.
Fights every day.
And then now or two, you're really taken care of. But what do you feel preseason should be for any sport? What are they trying to accomplish?
Well, they're just, I guess, because it's like you said, now with all the fantasy leagues and everything, it's all about, I don't know what they're trying to, I don't agree with it. I think, not saying it should go, maybe they should go a little where in between. I'm not saying they should go back to full pads, but they got to kind of give a little, maybe go a little between, maybe have a little more padded practicing. But I agree with they cut off the exhibition game, which I agree with. But I think they have to go back to doing a little more. Like, why do they even have preseason then? That's what I don't understand, because they don't do anything anymore. You got to get these guys ready to play.
Well, I think preseason for the Patriots is simple. They got Bill O'Brien, offensive coordinator, so you're trying to it's really more technical. It's got to be more technical piece. I understand that guys get hurt more, but these guys are bigger and stronger. I just think that it's become a commercial enterprise such that even the draft is a money-making thing, and OTAs are a money-making thing, and the NFL's done a great job in pushing that. And then I watch on TV, and these guys open up camp, and you're paying whatever you pay to go in, and you see the first part of practice, and then you go home.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just to get the action. Maybe it's something to do with your kids as you're as they're moving forward. So that's just a compare. I think it's funny because, I'm 61 years old. You're what, 59 now?
Yeah, 52.
52. I'm just about you. I think the biggest difference to me is that it's a big production now. And I remember back when we were younger, it was just the way it was. And I mean, somebody was, but again, Tommy, I ask you this: somebody was making the money.
Well, yeah, they were, but it was different back then, like you said, in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Like, these guys played hard, and one thing about the NFL, if you get hurt, you don't play again. You don't get paid. Right. Like, see you later. Like, that's one thing. It's a cruel business. NFL, not for long, but you don't play, you don't get paid. And, getting back to baseball, now, like with baseball, with this guaranteed money, it's insane. I mean, I don't mean to sound wrong, but that's why I think these guys in the NFL should get paid the money, because if they go out there, they take a beating.
Yeah, they're just cattle for us. That's all it is.
I know they
really
are,
not
but now
that
it's
difficult
just
to understand. Somebody, if you think about it, even with baseball, I mean, There's pitchers really. I went back and looked at 2013, and who the heck is this relief pitcher? Pitched for Seattle. These guys, they just cycle through.
Oh.
Unless they're superstars, these guys are cycling through. And in the NFL, you're absolutely right. He makes his $75,000. He's gone. He can't walk for the rest of his life.
Right, and then they don't. You never even hear about these guys. There's so many guys with these head injuries, and you hear back then the benefits. You see them now. It's sad. They don't even have any insurance. It's sad. And these guys were like in the 70s. Yeah, these guys were great football players, and they didn't make a ton of money back then. Now look at them. They're all basically these poor guys. You hear the stories.
Yeah,
it's
that's
bad.
true. All right, now we'll transition to your favorite sport, basketball. Do a Mount Rushmore. Jack and I did a draft of college football stadiums. Just real quick, I want to get your intake. If you were to go to one that you'd pick, where would you want to go see a game?
For college football, I mean, you got to, because people don't know this, where the wave was originally invented. I'd probably have to say the University of Michigan.
You like Michigan?
You know,
Anywhere
I'd
else?
throw that one. No, and I would love to go to the Rose Bowl.
Okay, and those
I
were our
think you
top
have
two picks. Yeah?
Really?
Yeah.
See, I haven't even time. I didn't listen to it yet either.
Jack went Rose Bowl. I went Michigan. Then,
Wow.
Then
Look
Jack,
how we think minds think alike.
Then Jack went like Penn State
Yeah,
at night.
Eve.
And let me pull.
Oh,
my
don't
notes
forget
here.
the horseshoe, Ohio State.
I don't like the horseshoe because they filled it in.
Yeah.
So Jack went Beaver Stadium. I went LSU at night.
Yeah.
Jack took Kyle Field, Texas A&M, to see the cadets and how crazy the 12th man is there.
12th man.
I took the LA Coliseum just for that old-fashioned USC.
Oh,
kinda
that
fun
USC
stuff.
with the song. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Jack took Notre Dame. He pandered.
That's another one. Don't forget this, the orange place there.
Right, and
Tennessee.
I took that was what I took next was Tennessee, Rocky
Tennessee,
Top.
Yeah.
Jack took FSU. I took Washington because I've been out to Washington where you bring the boats up and you can see the city of
Oh.
Seattle. We fought over that one.
Wow.
Jack
that's
took
right.
the Swamp in Florida. I
Yeah.
took Death Valley down to Clemson.
Yeah.
Jack stole Army, Mitchie Stadium from me, and I ended up with Franklin Field because nobody even knows where Franklin Field
That's
is.
a good
So,
one, is it?
so that's how we ended up at. But you and I looking at who do you think we'll go in the 2000s. Give me your top 4 or 5 basketball players in the 2000s.
All right,
Who do you
well,
think?
Because he's came in now, he's been playing. Of course, LeBron James.
Yeah, I go with LeBron. Yeah.
I mean, it's not even when it's all said and done, too. I think he's going to go down as the greatest of all time. So, obviously, LeBron James. Then I would say, like, in the last 20, 25 years now, you got to probably put in, well, he played early. Now, he played in the 90s. You can't put him. You probably
Who
have
would
to
you think?
put-
Who?
I was going to say, but yeah, he was kind of in the.
Shaq's more than nice, but he's
Yeah,
close.
you're
'cause
right.
He said, I
You
think
gotta,
you throw Shaq in
because he
there.
won, and he kind of did change the game. He was so big.
So for you, yeah, I agree.
Kobe
with you.
Bryant.
Kobe and Shaq, because that year they were in the 2000s.
Yeah.
The
Do you
first
agree?
part. Yeah, I agree
Right,
with that.
and then,
Allen Iverson's another one.
That is another one. Like I always say, my father said to say, and I told you, pound for pound, he might be the best player that ever lived. But listen to what I'm saying. He was 152 pounds. What if he was 6'5" and forget about it? Like
Pound
he's
for
a great
pound,
player.
pound for pound, he's a knucklehead though.
Complete.
That's okay.
Complete idiot.
So
But that guy could play basketball.
So
no doubt about it.
I'm trying to think. And Tim Duncan was in that
Well,
era.
I was just gonna say you're right, Duncan, because he kind of goes under the radar. And then like that's 4 guys we're gonna say, and like who else? Because I'm more from the era of
Oh, I know
course
you're
we miss
yeah.
it.
Well, you're missing the more current players. In reality,
Yeah, then you could
Curry.
probably-
Curry has to be on there somewhere, right?
That's the one. I'm sorry. I was
And,
thinking.
and
I know.
Kevin Durant almost has to be on there somewhere.
I know. I just don't like him, but you
I
gotta
know a
put
lot
him
of people
in
don't like him, but if
there. Might
Kevin,
be the greatest scorer I've ever seen.
Could be.
Pure scorer. No
he
doubt.
is. He's what Larry Bird would be today.
That's a very good
He's that kind
comparison.
of shooter.
He's
Maybe
even
not as
taller,
quick.
right? Yeah.
That's great. So then we have, then you have the guys that like were in the middle. Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
What's
He
your
kinda
opinion? What's your that little group of groups? Dwight Howard, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul.
Those guys.
You know,
Yeah,
now
they're
you
on
have
the 75 team.
Right, and now today, how about the players of today that are played right now? Give me your top 3 players today.
Right now, if I know, so tomorrow you have to say right, you have to put Giannis in there. Definitely
Giannis has to be in there. I agree.
Yeah, he's one. Who just
The Joker.
the kid who just won. Yeah, because he goes so under the radar. Definitely, he's number 2. And my third one, I mean, I still say I don't know. You can go, I don't know. There's like a few. There's like 3 or 4 other ones, but I would probably say, well, who else with the win? Who's the guy I'm thinking about?
Are you thinking Kawhi Leonard?
No, you're gonna say not even him no more because he never plays.
Okay. How about Jimmy Butler?
But no, not top 3. Not
Okay.
Jimmy, but no, I'm just having.
How about Joel Embiid?
That's the other one. I was
That's your
thinking the
other
kid for Philly. But
Yeah.
he's another one. Like I don't understand, but you got to put him in there. But he's gonna start winning a little more. But yeah, Embiid is a good talent.
You know, so I get like if you look at 4 now, like you try to put 5 together just from that stretch. You know,
Yeah.
I'd say LeBron, I'd say Shaq.
No,
I'd say LeBron and Kobe.
From the 80s, yeah.
No,
No,
LeBron from the 2000s.
Yeah,
so
right.
LeBron and even LeBron's playing today.
Right.
LeBron and Kobe and
No doubt.
Curry, I think, are my 3
yeah.
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other 2 you could argue over a couple million different players. But I would almost say Durant, and then that's really hit or miss after that. So
Yeah.
how about, do you agree, disagree?
Yeah, well, yeah, you got to put Durant in there, too.
What about
'cause-
Damian Lillard? Where's he go?
No, I know.
Come on, tell me.
Well, he did make the all-75 team. Now, he's more on that. He's more down on that next thing from like 10 to 20, maybe.
Okay, as I transition real quick, Damian Lillard, do you think he's doing the right thing by trying to force a trade out?
No,
of
but for
where
a
he
guy
signed
who's like
contract
all
for?
of a sudden, no, I don't. But this is how it is now. They run the asylum.
That is true.
That's just how it is.
So now I got my computer, trusted computer. It's time for
Right.
Tommy time, which is
Oh.
always our favorite thing. I'm going to put I'm going to bring the computer up. I'm going to put the camera's going to be on Tommy. And Tommy, I picked out. Boy, you can't get any more random than this when I get to do it. The 1995-96 Vancouver Grizzlies. Oh, I'm telling you something. You're going to impress the nation here. The Vancouver Grizzlies, who became the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Thunder, right?
All right, so
I
the
remember
95-96 Grizzlies.
Well, the first year you could probably. Did they have Big Country Reeves on that team?
Do they have Bryant Reeves on that team? Yes, they do. So you will get him in a
yeah,
second.
he went to Oklahoma State.
He did go to Oklahoma State. So I'm going to flip the camera with my buddy Tommy.
Oh,
I'm going to zoom in a little bit on this so I can read them because I'm blind at the bat.
Vancouver, what a
The
team
first
you
guy I
were
never heard of. Power forward, Ashraf Amira. You don't know. I never heard of
You
him.
gotta.
He went to Southern Illinois. This guy you should know, Greg Anthony.
Oh, the UNLV.
Correct. How about Anthony Avent?
Anthony Avent.
Avent, A-V-E-N-T.
I think I know. I think he went to Seton Hall.
That is correct. All right, he's on a roll.
Yeah.
Here's my favorite player, Benoit Benjamin.
Oh, that jerk off. Creighton.
Creighton is correct. Okay, Blue Edwards. Blue Edwards.
It's Blue Edwards.
Blue
Oh,
Edwards.
wait. Don't even. Yes, he went to East Carolina.
East Carolina, correct. Tommy's on. Hold on, we got to get my face. Tommy, you're good.
Oh, yeah,
you're
Blue
killing
Edwards.
it.
Yeah,
Blue,
Blue
okay.
Edwards.
Okay, next one will be Doug Edwards. Doug Edwards.
See, Doug. Ugh, give me a hint. Maybe what conference? Sometimes.
They're now in the ACC.
Doug at the
The Tomahawk Chop. Like, here's your thing.
Florida State.
Yeah, Florida State.
Yeah, I
Doug
wouldn't
Edwards. Kenny Gaddison. Kenny Gaddison.
I remember him. Yeah, he went to Old Dominion.
Old Dominion, you're correct. Antonio Harvey. He went to 3 places, so good luck. You got a choice of 3.
Antonio Harvey.
Yeah.
Did he go to Oklahoma?
No.
No, wait.
Southern Illinois and Pfeiffer University, and he went to a SEC school.
Oh my God, I do remember him now. He went to an SEC school. Antonio Harvey. Was it Alabama?
No, it was Georgia.
Georgia.
Close, though.
Pfeiffer.
You're getting there. Chris King, small forward, born July 24th, 1969. Chris King.
This is hard. Chris King.
ACC.
Oh, Chris King. Was it Wake Forest?
Wake Forest is correct.
Yeah,
a little bit
see, I guess
ahead.
sometimes, yep.
Here's a good one for you, okay? He is a 6'11" center. He was a rookie that year. His name was Rich Manning, power forward, 6'11". Rookie, went to 2 schools.
Rich Manning.
One on the East Coast, one on the West Coast.
Maybe the conference.
One's the Big East, and one was in the Big East, and one was the Pac-10, as they're both gone now.
Was he Arizona?
No, he was Syracuse, Washington.
Rich
Koizo Martin.
Conzo?
Martin. You got it. Sorry, I read that wrong. He is a coach. Was a coach.
Yeah, he didn't. Purdue?
Purdue is correct. How about Derek Martin?
Derek Martin. Wow, these guys, they had, because that team was horrible.
Yeah, team was terrible. Derek Martin, he played in the Pac-10 again. He was a 5'11" point guard.
Wait, I should know. Was it Oregon State?
UCLA.
No?
Eric Mobley. Eric Mobley, 6'11" center. Eric Mobley. Let's go. I'm going to watch you do this now. Come on, Eric Mobley. Come on, Tommy.
What conference?
What conference was the Big East?
Mobley. Yeah, he went to Pittsburgh.
Pitt is correct. All right. How about Lawrence Moulton?
Syracuse.
Lawrence Moulton, Syracuse.
Went to prep school at New Hampton.
How about Eric Murdoch?
Eric Mark, Providence.
Providence. They're in a row. And then your boy, Big Country,
Yeah,
Brian
Oklahoma
Reeves.
State, Brian right.
Are you sure with Oklahoma State? You positive?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Okay, how about you're right, by the way. And then Byron Scott, the Byron Scott of the Celtic fame there.
Yeah, people don't know he went to Arizona.
Arizona.
State.
And then here's the last one, Gerald Wilkins. Good friend, Gerald Wilkins.
Not the one, Dominique's brother?
I don't know. It says Gerald Wilkins.
Yeah, that's not Tennessee Chattanooga.
Tennessee Chattanooga's correct. Look at that. Hey, let's give Tommy a big hand on that one. Hold on. Not bad. Not bad for the Grizzlies. Nobody even knows that the Grizzlies
Didn't
were
even know they
Vancouver.
existed.
Correct.
They were horrible.
Awesome. You gave me your pet peeve, which was money in sports. My pet peeve is the Illuminati in Boston driving me freaking completely ass crazy. Shouldn't swear like that, but you know, I had you start to feel hope for the team, and all of a sudden they play like crap because you have all these crazy ass mid-level pitchers coming in. So that's my pet peeve is just the whole atmosphere surrounding my Red Sox. Gonna drive me nuts.
Yeah, well, where they got, I mean, how's Kansas City stinks, right?
Kansas City's terrible. They'll lose 2 or 3 of them. I think they had 4 games with KC.
Yeah, they do. So
Kansas City's got some good young players with their own pitching either. Jack was looking at the number. He says to me, he says, "Dad, you know Eric Greinke is like 1-11." I said, "That's
he's still on them.
He still plays.
He originated.
Yeah, he originated there. Now
And
he's
he's
back.
back?
He's 1-11.
Wow.
1-11, and then
so
so
bad.
that's what happens. That's a pet peeve.
Right.
I'll give you one shot trivia for our friends and neighbors and listeners. If anybody's out there, Tommy, you got anything for me? If not, we can
Jeez.
go on.
I know. I should have came. I was just prepared. Let me think of trivia.
Just a quick Maine trivia. Give us some Maine trivia. Where is the University of Maine? What town is the University of Maine?
No, yeah,
Well,
no.
come on, you're
no.
a maniac now. Where is it?
We're in Maine. Okay, where is the University of New England?
University of
located?
New England. That's
Yeah,
somewhere in Massachusetts.
No, it's in Maine.
It is?
Yeah.
There's like 3 universities in New England.
Yeah, Riley's sister goes there. Yep.
Yeah.
No, but this one's in a part of Maine. It's like 15 minutes from me. I just found out.
What's the town? UNE.
Biddeford.
And what town is Maine? University of Maine.
So, are you asking? Oh, I know. Orno.
Orno. Okay.
Who's he play for?
And he plays for Detroit Mercy. Who coached Detroit Mercy?
Dick Vitale.
Dick Vitale. Dick Vitale's going to get inducted he's getting a lifetime Emmy. Not bad for him. All right, well, you know what, Tommy? It was great talking to you again. So we have a good time here, and we've seen enough. Now, like I said, we're looking forward to trying to keeping this up on a weekly basis if we can. I know I'm going to miss a couple weeks because I'm going away. You're going to miss a couple weeks because you'll be in and out of work and everything. Working. Like I said, Tommy has moved to Maine on me, and so now it's tough. I got to try to squeeze this in, but it's great that you come in. We're glad to be back on the air, and like I said, it's going to try to keep in touch with us on a weekly basis. We're now simulcasting, as you can see. I'm waving. Tommy, why don't you give there's Tommy there. He looks back at the camera. Look, Tommy, that's the video screen. If you look ahead, right over top of my head, that is a camera. There he is.
Jesus.
So there you go. That ugly mug of Tommy. The only person who could love that mug is his mom, probably.
Can't even take nothing.
But no, you can't. But that's what we got here on our We've Seen Enough podcast. So like I said, thanks for joining us. Season 1, Episode 13 is now complete. For Tommy Trevisani, I'm Jim Boyle, and we'll see you on down the road. Thanks for listening to this episode of We've Seen Enough, recorded at WCTV Studios in beautiful downtown Wilmington, Massachusetts. If you'd like to get in touch, offer topics to discuss, or stump us with sports trivia, we can be reached via email at jboyle22@comcast.net. That's jboyle22@comcast.net. Along with Tom Trevisani, I'm Jim Boyle. Make sure to tune into the next edition of We've Seen Enough.